have a bunch of old Apollo campaigns, and in today's video, I'm gonna share some of them and delete some of them with you today. So I logged on one of my main Apollo account and went to page 23. I put recently used, right? Because we want to see which one has been sending and which one has not. So this one right here, I'm gonna pause straight up because I know that it's a BNI campaign. I was just like intrigued in seeing if these people would be interested in referring me business back then, but very bad hypothesis. And yeah, I don't want to send any more emails with that, even though it's a lot of opens and reply rates. But yeah, I'm gonna do that throughout my full account. You'll see the open rate will start to be not accurate after some time, and because I stopped tracking them. So this one here, I'll stop just before I'm gonna see them because it's Spanish pods, and yeah, not bullish on that anymore. Lots of them are not activated yet, but yeah, first thing you'll see is that there's a crap load of campaigns, right? Um, and yeah, I think I'm not even gonna click on some of them. I'm just gonna like filter them, probably explain you what was the concept behind each, and um, yeah, but potentially stop some of them and double down on some of the others. So let's start from the bottom here. Spain seals. Yeah, there's no. Let's see here. Yeah, there's no email schedules. Yeah, I'll go up so that at least it's like actual campaigns that I'm sending, so that we looked at stuff that I can potentially stop, because the thesis behind that also is that some of these campaigns are taking from other of my campaigns. Um, so see here, we're starting to see some scheduled. 7 specific lists, that's pretty good. So I'll just keep it there. And yeah, you want to make sure that you're sending, that your best campaigns are going out, and the other ones might not be, yeah, might just be stopped, so that yeah, you can generate more results. Okay. Start your pod funnel. Okay, that's good. Let's keep it. School of Greatness, that one I was targeting guests of School of Greatness, New York. It's just because it's one of my favorite places to do business. Usually I tag my campaigns with the date here and what they're about. YC, I'm extremely bullish on YC companies. So that one was starting your Shark Tank, Seals for Cancer. That was a concept that I developed. It's like a podcast of cancer survivors, which is interesting. Mother sequence AI seals. Let's check if that one is worthwhile sending. How many? How many scheduled? Scheduled. Okay, here, 110. One was for the UK. MTL seals I'm gonna keep because I'm always interested in speaking from MTL Montreal, where I'm from. If you see not sent at some point, many of my emails failed to send uh, because SendGrid disconnected for some reason. So it's not a big worry at this point. Athlete Wisdom Pod, I'm still bullish on athlete. I'll probably do like 5 more pages and probably do another one. So a company mastermind, a company podcast. Yeah, I'm still bullish on these. Yeah, many scheduled, right? Let's just keep it up. I'll try to put on the filter of like being super critical and be like, yeah, this is not worth it. Goal agencies. That's pretty bad. I was like at the beginning of the year. Podcast DB sells spots. That's good. By the way, I have a client I need to Check the podcast DB that they bought. SF founder still bullish on that's probably a podcast invite, right? And again, gonna check how many schedule because we want as few as possible. Media, yeah, media. I'll just stop. Media CEOs. I'm not bullish on that. This is for various of my companies, right? So some of them it's for the pod, some of them it's direct outreach. E-learning, very much not bullish on e-learning. When I say mother, it's like the mother campaign, right? So encompassing a whole bunch of emails, 9 steps, it's a lot. Creator title, creator wisdom, not bullish on that. Can see it was pretty nice reply rate though. Um, and back then I didn't even put the date, so that must have been a while ago. McGill CEOs, I'm still very bullish on that. This is a university campaign, so targeting people that went at the McGill University, which is in Montreal. Anytime I do these campaigns, yeah, I get a pretty nice reply rate, right? This was in the good old days, right? When we could track opens and replies without any frills. These days are gone. Nowadays it's very hard to track all of that. Longevity wisdom pod, I'm still bullish on that. It's interviewing people in the longevity space, which I'm very much involved in. CROs, yeah, not bullish on that. I just stop it. Growth wisdom podcast, not really worth it either. Let's do a couple more pages and we will close this off. So, okay, mental health, not really. Bunch scheduled. I mean, some of you will look at the reply rate, be like, okay, maybe it's worth it, but yeah, in that niche, usually they don't really buy my services, so probably not worth continuing it. Ecom CEOs either, not super bullish on most ecoms. Fate-based org, I launched that recently. That's quite interesting. ML CEOs, it's good stats, right? There, this campaign, you can see that, yeah, it's not tracking the open rates in the right way. Contech, that's a nice reply rate. Just gonna continue. Sales wisdom bond. PNC. I'm not sure what PNC stands for. Pretty bad reply rate. Tech botters. Authors. Yeah, most authors aren't super interesting, is what I found out. India CEO doesn't, I don't need more Indian CEOs. They're already getting on my podcast. YouTube influencers. Yeah, it's pretty small. Newsletter. Huh. It's a pretty big reply rate. Yeah, it's a podcast. So yeah, podcast invites, it always works, right? 15% reply rate. It's pretty impressive. 70% open rate as well. Startup skill. But yeah, this is like agencies that have newsletters, right? So how many are about to be sent here? Scheduled 91. Startup skill. FWP. Okay, so that was people with startups as a skill. Saudi campaign. Yeah. Saudi is hard, man. The culture there is like people are so like formal and royal, and yeah, so just stop that. Not conclusive. Sells with podcasts. That's pretty good. Consumer electronics. Pending clicked email schedule. RegTech. SEO Wisdom Pod UK. Pretty nice reply rates. And do one last page. It's not to bore you out. Most of these are old campaign, by the way. So when you let all the stats seep in, that's how you get high open rates and high reply rates with time, right? Sales Wisdom, Mixergy, that's pretty good. Mixergy, I've just emailed all the podcast guests of Mixergy. So pretty high reply rate. Ex-founder, now CTO of high growth company. That is weird. Contact out PayPal. Risk management, reply rate is so low. I'll just stop that one. Costa Rica CEO, not super conclusive. I had thesis behind all of these, by the way. There's a reason why I wanted to email Costa Rica CEOs, professors, lecturers. Yeah, it's probably the worst. Back then, my thesis was like, oh, let me talk to your students so that I can recruit these students. Never really worked, never really panned out. Deloitte may still be interesting. Paid newsletter for market research. Yeah, it's pretty bad. HSC, that's a school. CEO Wisdom, doyoupod.com. Let's keep it up. Content Wisdom Pod. Had like content agencies. My thesis was that they could teach me stuff about content, but was the most of them were the most boring podcasts ever. They have very few brain cells and insights to share about content. You know, they're doing content for money and just because it's there. 40 under 40. Let's keep it up. Yeah, like I said, most of these emails are podcast email. The goal of this video is just like pick my brain on the thesis that I had with these campaigns. Stanford CEOs, that's pretty good. Let's keep it up. One of the best CEOs out there. Coaching Wisdom Pod. Again, same as content, like most coaches are not competent. Makes like pretty bad content, actually. Partnerships. This was for partnership people. XJP Morgan. Still very bullish on them. I launched a campaign not so long ago. Secondary shares. Yeah, it's pretty bad. That was for a side project. Accountability silent groups. Yeah, that's never really worked. Probably did not explain the concept well enough. Coaches with podcasts, so that's better type of coach in my opinion, because they're interviewing people, right? They're curious. Biohacking Wisdom Pod, that's pretty good. Clutch GPT Reply GPT, that's an old campaign. Just look what it said. Yeah, it's pretty bad. I'll stop it. This was Clutch GPT is still active, right? It's an email company of mine that allows for replies with an AI in your mailbox without needing any of your help. You just click send basically. And yeah, nowadays we're sending AI emails. So world record. Yeah, that never panned out. So the world record was that I was supposed to do at some point 100 podcasts in one day. But yeah, people were confused by it. They didn't want to be part of a world record. So it's just better if I just do a bunch of podcasts and don't tell them like the why, right? Um, yeah, and do the world records. Back then, I'd have like days with like 20, 25-ish podcasts sometimes. So yeah, maybe I still have that, but sometimes the thesis that you have may not pan out. You know, you may think that this is one way to do one thing, but actually it's not. So uh, yeah, you need to A/B test stuff. The reality always surprises you. You have your own plans about what you think is the truth or not, but this market will tell you otherwise. So yeah, shared a couple of campaigns here, guys, about some campaigns that I launched some time ago. We stayed at page 15. So, yeah, I'll continue checking out what campaigns of mine in the past have been good or not and inform you of my thesis and the result of